Hey traders, Jason here from Levitt Brothers. So in this video, I'm going to go through some weekly charts. Okay, I find as a swing trader who prefers to hold for several weeks or even longer, that the best trades come from the weekly charts. Now, if you're really good at zooming in a 5-minute chart, 10-minute charts, and stocks are chaotic, moving up and down, and you're really good at playing those intraday moves, fantastic. But I find even if I'm entering a position, even if I'm entering a trade on the hourly chart, if I look at the weekly first and the weekly sets up really nicely, my odds of success on the hourly are much better. Okay, so I always look at the weekly because I like to have like a really good weekly structure. So in this video, I'm going to flip through a lot of charts. These are the ones I'm looking at. Some of these are tradable, pretty soon. Some of them are going to be tradable in the next few weeks. Some of them have gone too far, but the charts look great, so they're still in play. If we get setups in the future. Okay, so I have a lot of charts. I'm going to go through them relatively quickly because I don't want the video to be overly long. All right, let's get to it. All right, so here is Airbnb. So we have resistance level here at 120, as you can see. Broke out this week, strong volume over here. So this clearly is coming out of a base here. You can draw another resistance level here at 130, which was, came into play there. Not really there, but definitely came into play there. Definitely came into play there. So this stock's breaking out of a base on strong volume. It's not in an uptrend. It's in a big range, but it certainly could fill some of this space over here. AEHR, overall looking great. Resistance level going back several months, not entirely clear because you have an area here like at 27, and this one's like 25, and the high over here is 28. But no question, you have this big base that lasted much more than a year, and now the stock is in consolidation mode. This stock looks really good to base that long, to break out. Volume over here is strong, although it's hard to see. And now in consolidation mode, looks really good to eventually break out there. AMD. Love the rolling double bottom, gets rejected by the 21, comes back up, ramps up, got some decent volume over here, now in consolidation mode for the last approximately 2 weeks. So this one looks pretty good to leg up. Not in an uptrend, just coming out of a base and should be able to move from this base up over 100. ARHS, an IPO from late 2021. You can see resistance there at 15 from there, and now we have 3 consecutive weeks setting up over here near that high, and we have tons of big volume down here. So this one looks really good. I hate the idea that it's gone up so much just in the last, this year. So I'd really would love to have it pull back first rather than just these overlapping candles here, but it is what it is. It looks great from an IPO standpoint. It's exactly what you want to see. A big long base and then a breakout on strong volume would be ideal. Bros, so we don't have a perfect resistance level here. It's going to be somewhere in here. You could see, whoops, that's not what I wanted. You can see a little bit of a rolling pattern here, dip to a lower low there, volume not very strong, then it rallies, and now it's consolidating in the area of previous highs. So breaking out of here, it's not in an uptrend, it's more like in a big range, but market stays healthy. I certainly can see it moving up to 50 there. CCL, resistance not clearly defined. It's going to be somewhere in here, and you can see comes above resistance, prints its highest level since last June, and then it has spent the last couple weeks just trading sideways. So this is good. You get a nice long base lasting several months, and then you get a move up to a multi-month high and a consolidation pattern. That looks good for an eventual continuation up. Charge point, kind of a sloppy mover here. There's a resistance here at 13. There's also another resistance level here at 14, from a support there, resistance there. Okay, so coming out of a base, it's not in an uptrend up yet. It's just in a big consolidation pattern, but I believe if the market continues to do well, this one will probably make it through those resistance levels and move up a couple points. I like the volume down here. The volume was strong on the way down, so people were throwing in the towel, and then it's been pretty good on the way up, so there's been some accumulation. CLSK, got to zoom in on this one because it hasn't done well until recently. Got batted back by the 21 there. You can just see steady downtrend, but it finally comes up. Huge volume here, 6 weeks, 7 consecutive up weeks. The last, those 4 in a row were on huge volume. So moves off the low, now in consolidation pattern here. So that's kind of what I'm looking for. This one is still pretty young, but I just like the fact that we have this bottoming pattern here. We got this tons of volume over here, now in consolidation mode. Should be able to break out, get up to 5, maybe 6 if the market conditions are good. CRS. Okay, so resistance not necessarily clearly defined, somewhere between 43 and 44. You can see right there, and now, consolidating at a 52-week high. So that looks good. CrowdStrike not trending up yet, just bringing it to your attention because it's on my radar. We have a resistance level here, or a key level, I should say, at 120. That was support here. And now it's been resistance the last 3 weeks. Volume here, very, very good. So this stock looks like a stock that's kind of come out of a base. Once it takes out 120, which should be able to leg up 130, 140. It's in a downtrend, so I wouldn't expect too much, but market stay as healthy as it is right now, and we should be able to get a move up here. CUK. Okay, resistance not clearly defined. It's going to be somewhere up in here in the $10 range. And, like a couple of the others, we have a base going back many months, and now we have a consolidation pattern over here at a multi-month high. Good volume over here. Volume over on the right side here is pretty weak. So we want to get a volume breakout out of here, and if we do, then we're talking about a 7, 8, 9 month high on strong volume, which is exactly what you want. DDD, okay, similar to last one, we have a breakout here. If you want to call it a breakout, more like a falling channel here, moves out of that. Volume was okay, and now trading quietly for the last 3 weeks. In a little flag pattern. So that one looks decent. Is it trending up? No. Is it super healthy? No. But for it to move up 5 weeks in a row, volume decent on those last 2 weeks, now resting, should be able to get a move out of that area. Next up, Datadog, not trending up yet, hasn't even broken out, but we have a key level here at 90, which was support here, resistance. You can see the strong volume over here is dying down as the stock moves up. So we get a further consolidation here. A move through 90 should be able to bring some buyers to the table and probably get us up to 100, 110. DMTK. So weak stock trending down, gets batted back by the 21, then it explodes over here, comes to life, follows through a little bit, and now we have 4 consecutive weeks trading in a relatively quiet range. Volume good there, volume now falling off as the range continues to form. We have the 50-day moving average just overhead. So this is good. Weak stock trending down, explodes off a low, now resting for a couple weeks on declining volume right underneath the key moving average. So a move through here is playable. DocuSign, let me zoom in a little bit. Nothing overly special here, just a former big winner, fallen on hard times. Stock moved off a low here. Okay, here's your kind of low, pops off the low, huge volume here and there, trades sideways for several weeks, pops out of that, now consolidating on consecutive inside weeks just under the 50-week moving average. So this one looks pretty good to continue up. DT, let me zoom out here. So not going to key in on any particular resistance level, just the fact that it traded in a large base for many months, exploded upward. You can see on big volume, took a week off, and is now officially in consolidation mode. So this looks good. Really long base, explodes out of there, now consolidating, so it's in play. EB, okay, rolling double bottom. So you got resistance from the 21 there. Doesn't really come into play there. Here, so you got rolling double bottom, gets rejected by the 21, moves through the 21 up to the 50. You got pretty good volume over here, and now it's in consolidation mode. So I like these smooth moving, rolling stocks that move through some key levels and now moving sideways. So this one with resistance just overhead from previous price highs and also the 50-week moving average, this one looks well set up to continue up. EGHT, let me zoom in here. So this one broke out of a little base here, strong volume. Now we have a couple consecutive quiet weeks. Should be able to break out of that and leg up further. Fastly, same thing, similar thing. We have a resistance here, tried to break out over here 3 weeks ago, gave it all back, and now this week it's breaking out again. So right now current price is at another key level, which is 14. Let me draw that in here because you got support here, you got resistance, 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 resistance. And now if it closes here for the week, we'll have resistance there. So we got a nice base going back 9 months or so. We got some volume here. So this one looks pretty good to continue up. GFS. So no support or resistance to draw here, just the fact that semiconductor stock has spent its entire life as an IPO just trading in a range, which is pretty darn good when you consider that, here's 2022, here's 2023. So the market was down most of 2022, and this stock mostly traded sideways in a range. Now, as of right now, the stock is printing its highest level since, March, April of last year. So that's pretty good. I don't have any resistance or support to point out to you, just the fact that on a relative strength basis, the market did poorly in 2022, and this stock actually held up fairly well. So I like this stock. Here is Hayward Holdings, and I'm going to try to pick up the pace here. We got rolling double bottom, gets rejected by the 21, moves up, and now consolidating over here. So that one's in play. I love the big volume over here. HCAT, let me zoom in on this one. Come on. There we go. All right, so this one, rejected by the 21, rejected by the 21 here, consolidate for a few weeks, breaks out, pretty good volume here, moves up to the 50, and now it's been moving sideways for a couple weeks. This looks good, okay? You got to move down, move up, sideways, another move up, now consolidating. Looks like the worst is behind it for now. Should be able to get a move out of this little range for a few points. Hymax, similarly set up. I can draw, like a neckline there. Got a little bit of a head and shoulder pattern here. Breaks out. Volume is steady but not strong, and now it's in consolidation mode above the previous highs and above the 50-week moving average. That one's playable. IoT. So resistance level here at 14. You can see got rejected there, rejected here. You got a bigger hump, smaller hump, up 6 weeks in a row. I don't see an entry rate here, but any type of pullback here that holds the previous resistance level could be a buy for a continuation up. IQ's looking good. New low there, but then came out of the low. Steady volume at all times, and then really strong volume some of the weeks. Had a nice play over here, and now we're consolidating just under 9. So this one looks very, very good. Gelled, came out of a base here, tried to break out there, exploded there. Now again, consolidating quietly for the last 2 weeks, just under resistance at the 50-day moving average. KD broke out here, rested for a couple weeks, exploded again. I don't see an entry right now, but if you get a little bit of a softness that gets scooped up by a moving average, that's playable. Kratos. Let me zoom in here. So this one, bottom there, gets rejected, bottom there, moves up, and now consolidating over here. Volume is pretty steady. At times it was above average. That looks like a stock that could break out of here and at least move up to its 50-week moving average. MGNI moved up with force, traded in a slanted pattern here, moved up, came down, tested the the 8, and now moving up against. This one looks good to continue up into the teens. Net. So I don't want to say long drawn out, but a decent base here. Now we have, 6 weeks in a row up. Strong volume, resistance here, support there, resistance from the 50, breaking out this week. Volume, as I said, really strong. The next key level is that 80, because we got support, resistance. So we should be able to float or drift higher to 80, and then that's where things get more interesting. See if it gets rejected there, and then we play a breakout at 80. NVIDIA, not playable here, but just an indicative of what's going on. Semiconductors are really good. Small hump, big hump, small hump, moves up numerous weeks in a row. Volume very, very good. Okay, not playable right here, but it shows you what's going on in the group. Okta, let me zoom in here. So strong move off of a low, consolidate here for a couple weeks, break out, now consolidating again. So probably going to get a move out of here if the market stays healthy. On semiconductor, along with NVIDIA, it's been leading the way. Resistance there, ascending triangle, broke out, numerous up weeks in a row, strong volume, so this one's in play. ON, a little bit of a rolling pattern here. Bottom, gets rejected by the 21. Double bottom, comes up, now consolidating for the last 4 weeks. Volume over here very good, so this one's good. I love these patterns that are like rolling double bottom, and then it moves up to the top right side, strong volume, and then it rests. Those are all playable. Path, let me zoom in a little bit. Similar situation here. Rejected by the 21 bottom, rejected by the 21 bottom. So you get a rolling double bottom where it gets rejected by the 21 in the middle. Then it moves up to the 50. So we're getting support from the 21 here, resistance from the 50 there, consolidating for the last couple weeks. Volume over here pretty strong, so everything looks good for that one. Palantir, this one has come to life just in the last, I should say, this week. So kind of chaotic bottom, no clear resistance level. Did well with earnings, volume going really good. So as of right now, we have the highest close since August on really strong volume. So there's something going on there. This one should be able to, make some headway up into that space there. Redfin, another one of those rolling double bottom patterns, ramps up on the right side here, strong volume, and now consolidating for a couple weeks. So this one looks good to probably break out there. Shopify. This one looks sloppy on the daily chart, but the weekly looks smooth. So we got a nice base going back 8-9 months. Now we're consolidating for the last 3-4 weeks, above that level, above all key moving averages. So that one looks good. SMG, rolling double bottom, boom, rejected by the 21, ramps up there, steady volume, huge, and then with a big volume there. Now it's been resting for the last 2 weeks. That's great. Rolling double bottom, ramp up, strong volume, now resting in a small range. SoFi, similarly set up, gets rejected by the 21 there, comes down, gets rejected, lower low, then ramps up. Steady volume here, but then volume explodes there. Now we got quiet action the last couple weeks, so we should be able to get a move out of there. You can put a resistance level over here at 850, but I wouldn't wait to 850 to get in. I think you can probably play it up to 850 and then make a judgment call whether you wanted to add or cut it. Taboola, resistance here. You got a little bit of a head and shoulders, which, a little bit of a head and shoulders with that, and then that breaks out. Steady volume over here, ramps up. Can't really see it because of that big volume day. Messes up the volume chart, but now you have three consecutive weeks on a pretty quiet action up at a highest level since last May. So it looks good. You got a base going back several months. You got volume ramps up. The stock breaks out, gets above several key moving averages, and now resting in a quiet range. Toast. Okay, no clear resistance level that I can talk about here. I mean, I could draw a line, but bottom line is you have a stock which has been basing since last February. So we got a 12-month base, and right over here we have the highest close since last February. So we could basically have a 52-week high, strong volume, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks, or 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. So nice base coming out of the base with strong volume. This one looks probably going higher. Unity, resistance level here. Not going to call it, but this is a good setup. You got a base going back to last September. You got strong volume here, strong volume here. If it comes out of this base, gets above the 50-week moving average, we should be able to fill some of this void space here, probably challenge that August high near 60. Okay, a couple more here. Here is Warner Brothers, rejected by the 21, rejected by the 21, as it just trends down, lower highs, lower lows, then reverses pretty hard. Volume over here is pretty good, takes out this high, and now it's been in consolidation mode right underneath the 50-week moving average for the last couple weeks. So we should be able to get a breakout here if the market stays healthy. XM, base is here, explodes out of that base. As you can see, volume is gigantic, and then the last couple weeks have been really quiet. So assuming that this was probably earnings, that big move up probably shows up as a gap on the daily chart, but very quiet the last couple weeks, and should, if that was a game change or something that changed the character of the stock, then it becomes in play for a move up into the 20s. Last one, Yext. Nothing special here, just standard chart pattern stuff. Okay, stock based here, as you can see. So based here, some up and down movement. You got some strong volume there. Comes out of that base, gets above the 21 over here, consolidates for several weeks, moves up again, steady volume over here, then moves sideways for like 2 months, breaks out again. So it looks like we got a big, a big base in place, and we should be able to get a move out of here. Okay, so that's what I got for you. Again, market's doing well right now. It's healthy. I think it goes higher. Even if it goes lower in the near term, I think it's got enough underlying strength that dips are going to get bought. Even if you're a short-term trader, back up, look at the weekly charts, because I find that the best trades come from stocks where the weekly charts look good. All right, good luck. See you next time.